Okay, so you know that mobs move very slow today. There's a reason behind this, and it's not what you think or what you thought it was. 13 years ago, before the multiplayer and single player merged together in a single game, um, before single player was an internal server, um, mobs had like very fast movement, like they were not based on ticks. But even when the multiplayer server were not merged, they still had this issue. And the issue being that mobs are not synced to the client correctly. Maybe, I don't know. This is unscripted, just so you know. But mobs, since 1.8 release, mobs do not no longer move like the client wants it to. They changed the code so that the server can only move the mobs. And that's why they look like this now. And they look like this even before like 1.8. Before 1.3. And it started all the way back in Minecraft Alpha. And they basically pretty much had the same movement they have today. So, if you're wondering, what the hell happened? So, today I'm going to look into the code and explain why this happens. Here we go. So, I have mod coder pack for 1.7.10. It's a modified version, but for this video I'm going to explain why this happens. So, this is an earlier version of the game. It may not be as accurate to the new version today, but it's right in this code, this file right here. And I have to go through local history to show what is behind all this. And hopefully we can get to understand why this happens. Alright. So, this may not be the original code, but still, I'm going to try and bring back the original code and showcase what is done for the packets, movement packets. So, in this code right here, the movements are based off ticks, and arrows can move as much as they want. As for the other entities, they have to make sure ticks are greater than 0. And you notice this variable right here, update frequency. I'm gonna have to look into that and see what it does. So, for update frequency, it's set in the main when it's initialized, and I have to see when this code is initialized, the class entity tracker entry, it's down here, and this variable right here. So for this specific thing here, we're gonna have to look into the original thing here. So, you know, for players and other entities, this is the basically different story, right? But right now, it's usually 3, and it's set all the time for these entities. And this creates a problem because if you play single player after 1.3, let me just show it right here. I'm gonna build a test world for this and showcase why they move so laggy and sluggish since the very day multiplayer was added. And it's because of the ticks that they're being given, right? Let's see about that. So I'll create a debug super flat world for this and spawn a mob, and I know it looks different, but see this? You see this now? Yeah. It's very sluggish and it teleports. Looks like it's teleporting. And if we go into code and change that for living entities and set the value to 1 somehow. Set it to 1, yeah. Nah. Oh, I forgot. Okay, let me go back. If I set this to 1, all of these to 1, and also check. Okay, it's done that. So, if I change that value, they move very smooth now. And it's because they set the value to 3. And that makes them look laggy when they're not. The server has the same movement as the client. You just have to change the value to 1. It's that easy. And if they want to make the movement less weird for other players, they will have to undo the change for 1.8 to bring back the client side and server side movement combination, which I know they intentionally removed, and I know it was actually intentional for them to do that, to remove that, but this change makes no sense, and I have no idea why it was set to that way. It could have been set to 1 just fine, but they just chose a number 3, and I know nothing about this, but this is very confusing, and if I just look at any mob, basically, and they move just fine in the server, but the client, what the integer value that they're setting, they set it to 3, and that makes it look teleporting and laggy. So that's a very simple fix, right? There's also other mobs who have this issue here, like the falling block, which is set to higher value, but if I try this with a TNT, let me try it, and try and blow it up, I think the movement is also a little teleporty, but it's still pretty smooth. And most importantly, for players, they will also have to set the value to 1. I know this sounds a little rough, but yeah. And for all living entities that have a life and have AI, they will need to be set. They'll have to change the value to 3 to 1, and that will be a very easy change. Before I knew the actual reason behind this, I blatantly removed parts of the code in this file, which it was completely unnecessary to do. Right? And if I have to check the other entities for this though. I'll have to go into end and see if the Ender Dragon is moving. Okay. Like I said though, they may have changed the code in newer versions, like a lot. But this has been an ongoing issue since the very day multiplayer was added in Minecraft Alpha. And yeah, it seems to be moving okay. So they may look a little teleporty still, but either way, they move smoother now, and they're not as teleporting as they were when they were initially creating this. And I am not sure this will create problems for other people in the game. And I don't know if there's a reason why they said 3. But either way, I hope this will make you understand why they looked so sluggish back then. And, yeah. I'm sorry if I keep saying random stuff and repeating things. This is a very unscripted video, but I hope you understand why they move like this. It was a result of the number being higher than it was supposed to be. And now they sync with the client like they were supposed to. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!